What's up, guys? So I'm gonna go over what I just ordered from Amazon, and I got food delivered to me while I was training clients. So I've been getting my food delivered now for like over a year. I think it's cheaper. I think it's more efficient. So everyone complains about inflation and how everything's getting more expensive. So what you can do is you can get the food delivered to you, which is more time efficient, and then you can go do other things. So I was getting food delivered to me while I was training clients, and I feel like I'm getting better prices personally. So here's some of the stuff that I got, and this is if you are so like the food and the kind of prep that I'm doing this week is trying to build muscle and stay lean. So if your goal is to build muscle and stay lean, then this is a good grocery haul for you. I aim right now to be between 27 and 3,000 calories a day. So what do we got going here? So I start by get some protein. So we've got a ribeye steak, right? This is one serving is so there's 2.5 servings. This whole thing is 2.5 servings. One of the servings here, which is about like half, about 190 calories, but then our protein is 24 grams of protein and 10 grams of fat. So meat is a good protein source, but it does carry some fat, so you want to take into consideration when you're having dessert and stuff like that. I got a couple different kinds of meats. We've got this top sirloin, we've got the ribeye, and then we've got the New York strip. And what I'll do with these, I like to put my meat in the air fryer. So I like to put my meat in the air fryer. I think that's a really great trick. Then I've got some ground turkey. So this is good because it's very lean. Ground turkey is very lean. So if you're trying to shave off some fat, having some ground turkey is effective. So one serving of this, there's 4 servings in this, and what they consider a serving. 4 servings. One serving is 170 calories, 8 grams of fat, and 22 grams of protein. So on this top sirloin steak, one serving is 140 calories. Fat is 4.5 grams of fat. Protein is 24 grams. And on this one, per serving, it says that this is actually more fat. Let's compare to this. This is the ribeye steak. This is 10 grams of fat. So the ribeye steak is more fatty than the ground turkey, but the sirloin is less fatty than the turkey. So sirloin steak is less fatty than ribeye steak. And then New York strip is in between. So the New York steak is 7 grams, the ribeye is 10, and the sirloin is 4.5. The ground turkey was 8. So I said it was really lean, but it really just depends on what kind of meat you get. And then all of the steaks are about 24 grams of protein. So this is a good lesson. The steak you pick and the cut of meat you pick is going to determine how much fat you have. And that includes the ground turkey as well. So we've got that going. Then I've got some chicken. We got our chicken breasts. So we've got our chicken breast here. And then for the drill that we're doing, let's look at the calories, right? So one serving is 110 calories, 24 grams of protein, but only 1 gram of fat. So by far the leanest protein source that I bought was the chicken breast, which is only 1 gram of fat. That's some great macros right there. We got 110 calories. We've got 1 gram of fat, and then we've got 24 grams of protein. So that is some really good macros right there. So the chicken is by far the leanest. And then depending on what cut of steak you have, and then you've got your ground turkey. All of them are loaded with protein. They all are over 20 grams of protein per serving. So this is good, right? I haven't been getting cheese. It's actually been a long time since I bought cheese, but I feel like since I've been kind of on point lately, I just got like a little bit of some shredded cheese just to add a little bit of flavor. When you're on point with the rest of your stuff, it's okay to add a little bit of flavor to your food, because if you don't enjoy eating it, you're not going to want to keep making it. And if you're paying attention to all of the numbers that you're going for, you'll find that you have a lot of room and balance to have some cheese. That being said, you can go fat-free cheese. You'll still get that taste. You know, everyone's different to different types of ingredients, so you'll take that into consideration. Then we've got some, Greek yogurt, but this is so here's the deal with this. This is strawberry Greek yogurt. And it's solid. It's solid, but the thing is that one serving is 17 grams of sugar and 12 grams of added sugar. So only 5 grams of it are natural. But it's 13 grams of serving, and it's 130 calories per serving. So here's the deal. And actually, this is 0 fat. So this is all carbs as well. This is important for you to understand, and this is actually really important for me to understand as well. This is not fat. This here is not fat. If I'm going to compare, let's see. Now let's compare this to regular Greek yogurt. Okay. This is actually a really important lesson here, guys. So we've got this. So we've got regular Greek yogurt, and then we've got strawberry Greek yogurt. Okay. Both of them don't have fat, right? So 0 grams of fat in both. But we've got, in the strawberry flavor, we've got 19 grams of carbs. 19 grams. It's a lot. And then we've got 6 grams of carbs here. And then we've got, with the plain Greek yogurt, it's only 6 grams of sugar, no additional sugar. The strawberry is 17 grams, and 12 of those grams are added on. What does that mean? That means that 12 additional grams per serving are added. So in this container, there is 5 servings, but they added in 12 grams per sugar per serving. So that means we're at like 60 grams of sugar in addition. So they added 60 grams of sugar in this to add flavor total. So if you had the whole thing at one time, you'd be having 60 grams of sugar. Versus here, you'd be only having 30 grams of sugar. Half. Way less carbs, way less sugar. Way more carbs, way more sugar. And the plain Greek yogurt is more protein. 16 grams of protein, 13 grams of protein. This is much more macro friendly. And then if you're looking at the ingredients, on the strawberry, it's not so long, but you can see there's like a paragraph going here, right? This is clearly a processed food. So even if we're trying to be clean, This isn't perfect. So this haul that you're seeing is not perfect. This is processed, and there's some, there's a little bit of bullshit in here. But where is the value? Am I getting this just because I don't it's just delicious, or is there a reason? Well, one serving is 19 grams of carbs. So if I'm looking for my carb goals, there you go. If I'm looking to work out, there we go. If I'm looking to get protein, there we go. If you're just binging these and you're not exercising, probably not the best fit. If you're not exercising, probably just a plainer version. If you're exercising and you're active, this can be good. This can be good. This helps you focus, and this is going to help you perform better. This is, it's 16 grams of protein. This would be like a better post-workout meal, snack. But this wouldn't be terrible either post-workout, because you need carbs after too. You need carbs before your workout, and you need carbs after your workout. So this really isn't that terrible at all. The thing is that sugar has a really weird rep, because sugar, you're not like looking to have tons of sugar, but sugar's not that bad, especially if you're like paying attention. Excessive amounts of sugar is bad. So you can easily have more than the daily amount. I think like the daily amount is like 35 or 40 grams of sugar per day, which is very easy to do. So if I have one serving of this, I'm already halfway to my sugar goal. Okay? So sugar's not that bad. It's how excessive are you with eating sugar? How many calories are you eating? There's a lot of factors that play when it comes to your nutrition. So just because something is less or more sugar doesn't mean it's necessarily bad or worse. It really comes down to goals and needs. What your day is like. If you're sedentary and you're sitting around, and if you have like more of a corporate job, I'd probably want to have more of this. And what I would do is I would maybe add some protein powder, add some fruit. Versus this is much better if you're active. Much better if you're active. If you sit around and have a sedentary lifestyle, this is not the absolute worst thing in the world, but you're getting more carbs, more sugar, less protein, higher calories. One serving is 90, one serving is 130. I would say this is definitely the healthier option, but there's room for this type of stuff in your diet. There's room there. Okay. Then we've got our wraps. The reason why I've got wraps is because it's not bread. It's less carbs than bread. Let's see if I ordered bread here. I don't know if it came yet. Amazon's kind of weird with their stuff. It doesn't always come at the same time. But here we go. All right, we got bread. So here's the deal. We got our carb situation. We've got some bread and we've got some wraps. What's going on here? So first of all, if I'm looking at these ingredients on this bread, this is not the best bread option at all. I was lazy. I've been a little lazy on that. I've been getting more wraps, but both of these are very processed foods. If you look at the ingredients on both, very processed. There's a lot of words you can't pronounce. And if I was to look up the ingredients on both of these, I would absolutely guarantee you there's inflammatory agents in both. What does that mean? That means that if you follow your macros appropriately, these won't make you fat or gain weight. But if there is irritants and ingredients in here that cause inflammation, it's not going to make you gain weight, but it might make you look fatter. And it might cause irritation in your gut and in your body. And that's what happens with processed foods. That being said, we got this because I was a little lazy on my bread research and I still needed carbs. So that's the point of here mostly. So in the wrap, one serving of carb is 19 grams. 19 grams. So I'm getting 19 grams of carbs here, but it's only 70 calories. So only 70 calories per serving. And we do get 17 grams of dietary fiber. So solid, right? Now we look at the bread. So one serving, first of all, one serving of this bread is actually one slice. So if you're having 2 slices, that is 2 servings. So this is one slice. So not many people do the open sandwich, or they usually do 2 pieces of bread. So that's 2 servings. So one serving, which is only one piece, is 110 calories, and then it's 21 grams of carbs. And then there is 1 gram of dietary fiber in here, and there's 4 grams of sugar added. So really, this is a pretty shitty option, right? Looking this over now, not the healthiest at all, but does this fit within our numbers? So we're at 4 grams of sugar, 1 gram of fiber, 21 grams of carbs, 110 calories. So again, my goal is 2,700 to like 3,000 calories. So what is 220 calories here? I probably need it. Then if I'm trying to get like 200 grams of carbs, one slice here is 21, add 2. That's 42 grams. So 2 slices here is 42 grams. So even though the macros are kind of below par on this, and it's a processed food, the value here is calories. Do I want calories? If you want calories, easy. If you want carbs, easy as well. So the value here is quick calories, quick carbs. On this kind of bread, there's little nutritional value. Breads do have nutritional value, though. Bread does have nutritional value. This bread I didn't get for that. This bread I got simply for some calorie and some carb. Now, this is the same goal, but now let's say I'm trying to be leaner. Let's say I want carbs, but I don't want calories. Well, then this would be a better option. One wrap is 70 calories. It's pretty normal to have one wrap on something. It's not really normal to have one slice of bread. Usually you have 2 slices of bread. So this is a much less calorie dense carb than this. I was in the mood for some bread. I got some. But this is a great alternative because high in carb, low in calorie, high in fiber. You can play with the different kinds of wraps you get. Then we got some bananas, which is carbs as well. Don't have the exact carb memorized on banana, but bananas are carbs, but they're also magnesium, high in electrolytes. So got that. Then we've got our salmon. We've got our salmon here, and if we're going to compare the macros on the proteins like we did earlier, all right. So one serving of this, just one. So this is a big piece. So one serving is not the whole piece. If we took one serving out of this, which is 4 ounces, 113 grams, we've got 23 grams of protein and 18 grams of fat. So relatively fatty, but healthy fats. So salmon is, I believe, omega-3 fats, which are healthy anti-inflammatory fats. So even though this is high in fats, healthy fats, and remember, fats fit our macros as well. When you're having a meal plan breakdown, fats are part of it. How much fats is going to depend on what kind of dieting goal. But if you're looking for fats, this is fatty but healthy fats, and if you're within your macros, you're not going to like gain excessive fat, right? So got that. Then I've been totally obsessed with frozen fruit. I'm now obsessed with frozen fruit. It's my new thing. But frozen fruit is a fantastic hack. Here's why. So for these big bags, right? So I got a bunch of shit. And actually frozen mango is like the most delicious thing ever. But why is frozen fruit a hack? First of all, I can buy all of these bags of fruit much cheaper. So I've gotten a lot more fruit for a much smaller price. Then it doesn't go bad. I have it in the freezer. It lasts. Then we're able to be like just pinpoint on our carbs. So this fruit is carbs. When it's fresh, it goes bad quickly. It doesn't have a label. These have a label, which is nice. So I've got the strawberries and bananas frozen fruit. One serving of this, one serving is 1 cup. 1 cup. So I fill this cup, the cup with the fruit. I've got 90 calories. And I've got 22 grams of carbs. So guys, I think what's really important to understand with the fruit is that they're carbs and they add up quickly. So even though they're healthy and the sugar in it is healthy, you can go over your carbs really, really easily with fruit, and then in conjunction with all of like the other stuff that you eat. 1 cup, one little cup, which is not a lot, is 21 grams of carbs. This is 22 grams per serving, 21 and 21. So that means if I have 2 cups, I'm already at 42 grams. I'm almost at a full quarter of my potential macro count. So let's just say, just simply put, it's 200 grams of carbs. Well, if I have 2 cups of this delicious frozen fruit, I'm at 42 grams of carbs. Our body only can hold so many carbs before it gets converted into fat. And if you're not exercising and you're not being active, too much fruit can make you fat. So you got to make sure you're exercising and using the carbs as energy, but really just paying attention to your macro count. Because if you do, you'll realize how easy it is to go over your macros. All right? We got some more chicken. All right, so we got some more chick. The different cuts of chicken matters too. So, like, we've got our chicken thigh and we've got our chicken breast, right? I told you how the chicken breast is really lean. So the chicken breast, only 1 gram of fat, and we've got 24 grams of protein, 110 calories. But then this chicken thigh is 130 calories, so 20 calories more. It's 22 grams of protein, which is a little bit actually less. And the fat is 4.5 grams of fat, while this is just 1 gram of fat. So what type of cuts of meat matter? The different steaks that I showed you were all different. The different cuts of chicken, same thing. Really want to pay attention, guys. These details are what makes a huge difference. So I do have the carbs memorized on this apple because I just recently was paying attention. But one of these apples, so a delicious apple, 25 grams of carbs, something like that. Now, similar, if I have two apples, I'm already at like 50 grams. So these 2 apples here, about 50 grams of carbs, give or take. Again, if it's on a 200 gram carb diet, you are already at 1/4 of the way there, and that hasn't included anything else in your day. So This is just simply highlighting how easy it is for you to go over your numbers. And this is why people are fat. Then we've got some processed turkey slices, you know, high in protein per slice, but it's all right. I mean, again, this is processed, but it depends, like, you know, what are you doing with it, but it is what it is. I live in America. I got what I got. I'm doing the best that I can. Decent grocery haul. Got some drinkable yogurts. Got a couple of these. These are pretty macro friendly, but there's a lot of ingredients in here too, processed, but pretty decent macros on that, so not horrible. The process thing is just person by person. It depends on what your issues are or your goals. If you've got like issues, you want to pay attention to those ingredients. If you're not really reacting, then like you don't have to pay attention as much. But over the years, your body might not protect you if you keep screwing things up. Yeah, then we've got some, I got like some ground beef here. But this ground beef, this one packet, so they sell it like this. They sell this like that, but in one packet, this is incredible. See, this is why you guys gotta pay attention. This is why you have to pay attention. This one little pack here is actually 4 servings. Unfucking believable. So in one serving here, so there's 4 servings in this fucking pack. That means 2, 4, 6. There's 800 calories in this container. 800 fucking calories. This is 800 calories. That means if you only can eat a quarter of this for 200 calories, but 1/4 of this is 23 grams. So it might be 800 calories total, but it's also 2, 4, 6, 8, 3, 6, 9, 12, like 92 grams of protein in this. So 800 calories, 92 grams of protein, 11 grams of fat per serving, 11, 22, 33, 44. 44 grams of fat on here. If you balance all of this out, right? If you balance all this out, there's not really bad and good food. This is why I say there's not really bad and good foods. If you just approach things correctly, it all fits within budget. And then here's just like this case of fresh blueberries. And as you can see, there's no label. So this, for example, in this pack, this would be the priority to eat because it's going to go bad. But also there's no labels on this versus on these, you get those labels, which allows you to be more pinpoint accurate. So this is the haul. This is everything. So take a look at all that, right? And when I ordered all of this on Amazon, it was like less than $150 for all of this stuff. And I didn't have to go in my car. I didn't have to wait in line. I wasn't tempted to get all of these extra things in the aisles. So I'm really liking grocery delivery. I think it's cheaper. I think I'm more disciplined this way. And I hope this information helped.